Hello and welcome to Brainy Gardener. Today it is all about how to grow and care for the baseball plant. The baseball plant is a succulent perennial that can reach up to 3 feet in height. It has a thick, singular stem instead of leaves or trunks. The stem is perfectly spherical in young plants, a carbon copy of a baseball. The plant becomes more cylindrical with age, but it retains the ribs on the stem that resemble stitching on a baseball. It is also called sea urchin plant and Gingham golf ball. The baseball plant is native to South Africa, but it's under threat of heavy poaching. As a result, finding it in its natural habitat has become harder, and the government has enacted policies to prevent its extinction. On the other hand, it is widely available throughout the world in nurseries and garden centers. It can be grown outdoors in USDA hardiness zones 10 through 11. The baseball plant is a popular choice for indoor gardens because of its unique shape that immediately draws the eye. The baseball plant thrives in a sunny location with some protection from the hottest midday sun. It will tolerate some shade but may stunt growth. Therefore, place the plant in an area where it gets at least a few hours of sun a day. Any less than that results in a leggy plant with paler than normal colors. Since these plants remain small throughout their life cycle, they're perfect as desktop plants. If your personal space doesn't get enough light, a sunny windowsill is also a great choice. The baseball plant is succulent and does not need much water to survive. Too much water can be detrimental and cause the roots to rot. Wait until the topsoil has dried out completely before watering again. During the winter months, reduce watering even further. The ideal temperature range for the baseball plant is between 60 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. These plants can tolerate higher temperatures, but it may result in stunted growth. The plant is frost tolerant to below 30 degrees Fahrenheit, but don't let it stay at temperatures that low for an extended period. Humidity is not a concern for the baseball plant. It can tolerate average room conditions but prefers dry air as much as possible. Treat it like a regular cactus. It is a slow grower and doesn't need fertilizer. Cacti in general don't need fertilizer as they're accustomed to harsh conditions. But for the best possible growth, fertilize once a month during the spring and summer with a cactus fertilizer diluted to half strength. Baseball plants are difficult to reproduce from seeds because seed production requires cross-pollination between male and female plants. This process is only viable for nurseries and other large-scale productions. Amateur gardeners can rarely obtain seeds. Furthermore, the seeds grow at a snail's pace. They can't really be propagated using the usual cutting techniques. Rather than cutting the plant in half, it is instead separated from the roots at the soil level. These plants, which have a single stem structure rather than numerous branches, are typically propagated by decapitating the plant at the soil level first. Each new offset can be gently cut away and replanted in coarse cactus or succulent planting mix. Treat them as you would a fully grown plant after they've formed roots. These are slow-growing plants that can take up to 8 years to mature into blooming plants. When potting, choose a fast-draining potting mix. A safe choice would be a standard cactus or succulent mix. Make sure it's coarse and fast-draining. Drainage holes are essential to allow the water to spill out after every watering session. Root rot is one of the only ways to harm the plant in cultivation. The baseball plant is slow-growing and doesn't need to be repotted often. It's best to leave the plant in its pot for as long as possible as it doesn't like being disturbed. Once you see the roots spilling out of the pot, only then is it time for a fresh container. Use a well-draining cactus mix and a pot with drainage holes. This plant is considered mildly toxic. Keep away from children and pets. All plant parts contain a white sap that can irritate the skin on contact. These plants are relatively pest-free but may be susceptible to mealybugs. Check the plant weekly for any signs of pests and treat with an approved insecticide if necessary. Horticultural oil is also known to work.